Hey, it's Stephanie+agresta coming to you from Web 2 Expo at the Moscone Center in downtown San Francisco, and it's Love 2.0 Week, sponsored by Engage. And as you know, I'm interviewing some of the most eligible bachelor and bachelorettes on the internet. And today we have pete+cashmore. Yes, you are. pete+cashmore of Mashable, one of the top blog sites out there. Welcome, Pete.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, it is. It's that and much more.
I'll believe you.
Yes, Pete's created quite the community around his blog, and everyone really appreciates the energy that he brings to the space. But he works so hard, and I wonder, when do you have time to date, Pete?
I do not have time to date. What are we going to do about it?
Well, listen, there's a lot of tools out there. Are you using any of them?
I'm not using any of them. What social media tools would you recommend for me?
Well, I know for a fact that you're quite active on Twitter and Facebook, but I realize those are tools that you use to run your life all overall, right?
What about Twitter dating? Is that something that might work?
Have you tried it?
I DM sometimes. There's an overlap now. It used to be, you know, if you talk about Engage and things, it used to be the case that online dating was like a classifieds kind of thing. You went and listed yourself. People came along. It's gone way, way more towards social networking. And I think, as you say, sometimes people are a bit uncomfortable going directly to a dating site and saying, you know, hey, I'm kind of on the market. Whereas things like Twitter and Facebook, I reckon Facebook's the main one that people are using.
A little more subtle.
You know, if you poke someone, if you Twitter them, if you, you know, all these verbs that have strangely been invented around these things. But you know what I mean? Like Twittering, Facebook.
Right. It's all a matter of research. It's all about research.
They're more subtle than going directly to a dating site and saying, I'm dating, kind of thing.
And, you know, you can use them as ways to, you know, figure out whether you have something in common with someone and whether you think you'll connect in real life.
Absolutely. And things like Twitter, you can follow their kind of day-to-day life and kind of be, oh, you know, I'm kind of interested in the same things as them.
Well, you know, of course, you got to find out if the chemistry's there in real life as well. And then there's always the issue of what happens when you do date someone who's also as public and out there as you, and then what happens when it doesn't work?
Well, what happens when you split up? What's the Twitter split up look like? Yeah, messy.
Well, we've seen that.
Well,
you know, Tara Hunt did quite a public Twitter breakup.
And the other problem, like you say, it's Facebook has kind of turned relationships into this kind of news feed event where I'm like, you know, I can see when my friends get married. I can see if they get divorced, which is a bit like, eesh, did I go and leave a message?
Have you been on Twitter that long?
I've been on Twitter quite a long time, but Facebook, you know how Facebook, you know, it'll say things like, it'll say,
now I'm single, now I'm in a relationship, right?
Now it's complicated. I can't keep up, but, you know, it's people, it's very, very strange when you have to, like, I haven't done it, but when you have to say, you know, we've broken up on Facebook, it's public. And normally it would kind of be gossipy and it would kind of be back channel. It would kind of be, oh, they've broken up, don't talk about it kind of thing.
Well, I think we're all pushing the limits of what's public and what's private in the world that we live in the social media world. But, you know, there are obviously tools out there that can help and you know, help foster really great relationships.
Yeah, I vote for Facebook and for Twitter.
Those are your favorites.
They're my top two.
Now let's just see you put him to action, Pete, because he works too hard.
I work on those sites all the time, just not for those purposes.
Yeah, I know. He has to make the time. That's what it comes down to.
I have to make the time.
You heard it here first. Well, thank you, Pete, and have a great week at Web 2 Expo.
Going to our party tonight?
I will be there. We will be at the Mashable party at...
It's at Mighty on Utah, and it's like 7 till 2 a.m. So
rock on. It'll be a great party. See you all there.